Hey everyone, Mike Vukovcan here, talking Pitt recruiting with you. Let's start off with some basketball. We're going to do a little football at the end, but it's more so basketball season right now. And if you heard earlier this week, I was able to talk on the phone for the first time. I believe we were the first ones to actually talk with him. And it's a major prospect for Pitt, Kadeem Sy. A few weeks ago, I mentioned in our Die Hard section a sleeper candidate. I forget how I termed it, a diamond in the rough, mystery candidate, something like that. And he was the guy that I was referring to, in case you were wondering. Reason I did that was because, I don't know that Pitt wanted it to be highly publicized how much they're going after this kid. So I just wanted to put it on the back burner a little bit, but let you know at the same time that I knew what was going on. And he's a guy that Pitt really wants. And if you check out the video of him, it's on our website, Pittsburgh Sports Now. The kid is exactly what Pitt is missing. 6'11", 245 pounds. He's not a project in any way. They're not going to have to wait for this kid to develop. He can come in today and put up a double-double for Pitt right away. He's an imposing figure, both offensively and defensively. More so defensively. He can clear the boards. He affects shots in the middle. He's a presence. He's what Pitt has been missing for many years. Offensively, he has moves down. If you watch the video of him, he has good moves. He has a mini hook in the lane. He has a drop step. He can do it, and he'd be able to excel in Pitt's offense. And Jason Capel, they had a week off. Jeff Capel, they had a week off, and he was in Florida. He met with Sy, and he made a good impression with him. I talked with him. He's a guy that left Virginia Tech's program, didn't get along with, I'm not sure of the backstory, so I'm not going to make it look as though, I don't know what the whole story was, so I don't want to make the kid look bad. He didn't get along with, there was something going on with him and Buzz Williams. He left. He went to Daytona College right now. That's where he is. He's going to have 2 years of eligibility. But he's a very quiet kid, and when I talked to him, he was just very careful about what he was saying. He didn't want to say anything, to make himself look bad or anything. Really nice kid, soft-spoken. But one thing that I got from the conversation with him is that he is looking for a place. He wants it to be a two-way relationship. He wants to go to a place that needs him. He wants to go to a place that needs a center, that needs a presence in the middle. But also, he wants to go to a place that he believes the coaches are going to utilize what he does best. And I'm not sure that was exactly the case at Virginia Tech. So it's a situation worth definitely to keep an eye on. Cross your fingers if you're Pitt fans that they're able to get him. He's not going to do anything recruiting-wise until his season is over with. His team, Daytona College, is in the playoffs. And he told me he's not going to worry about visiting or going to do much recruiting-wise until then. So you want to keep an eye on when his season's over with. We'll keep you up to date on that. And but he's a guy, he would be the most important get of the offseason for Jeff Capel if he's able to land him. Two other guys that we expect to be recruits 3 and 4, possibly. I'm guessing sometime next week. They're visiting Daytona this week. But that's the twin brothers, Julian and Justin Champagny. I talked to Julian today, and I wanted to get the correct pronunciation on his last name. Never want to mispronounce somebody's last name, and it's Champagny. So, Pitt fans, you probably want to learn how to say his name because we anticipate those two brothers committing to Pitt next week. They're at Daytona this weekend, Dayton this weekend for an official visit. And I believe an announcement's probably going to come next week, and I'm virtually sure that they're going to commit to Pitt. And those will be two good gets for Pitt, and that'll be 3 and 4 in their recruiting class. And then you get the question of how many is he going to take after that. That would be 4, and he would have 1 more left, open scholarship left. That's if nobody on the current team leaves. And, this is a tough subject to get into because you're talking about kids that came here, they committed to Pitt under the previous regime, and they're playing hard for Jeff Capel. But you can just tell, and I'm trying to be careful what I say here, some of the kids just aren't ACC caliber players. And I think after a year in the system, the coaching staff probably realizes that. And I would be highly surprised if a few of the players that are on the roster do not move at the end of the season, transfer, whatever. I honestly, I think the only 3 guys, 3 freshmen, are the only guys that are guaranteed to be back. Johnson, McGowan's, Tony. And then you got your 4 incoming recruits right now, so that's 7 players. And I honestly can make a case for any of the other 5 guys on the roster. If you told me that they were leaving, transferring, whatever, it wouldn't shock me. And that includes Terrell Brown, that includes Malik Ellison. I could just make a case that it wouldn't shock me that any of them would leave. If I had to pick one guy that I hope kind of sticks around a little bit, that would be Terrell Brown. I'm not sure if he's a starter, but I think when he's played with a motor, I think there's been spurts with him that I think he could be a useful player coming off the bench for an ACC team. And I think he could be beneficial to Capel if he had another year in his system. Hopefully he gets one of these bigger guys that he's hoping for, and we'll see what happens if they're able to move into the starting lineup. Maybe Brown goes behind them. But as far as the other guys, we'll see. But one thing I think is important for for Capel is to, I think he needs to get a veteran transfer, a guy that maybe only has 1 year left. I don't know that he wants to come into next year considering some of the guys that might leave, and basically his roster would still be full of freshmen and sophomore. I think it's important to get some sort of veteran presence, a guy like Wilson Frame was this year. And the way college basketball is now with the transfers and the kids leaving all the time, there's going to be people available. So I would look for at least one player to come to the roster that has some sort of D1 experience for some sort of veteran presence on this team, because I think they need it. One other guy to bring up, and I don't have the pronunciation on his first name, so I'm gonna call him but it's Diallo. He's the 7-footer from California that visited last week. He is going to be going to Ohio State for an official visit. And then right now, he's supposed to go to LSU, but in light of the stuff that's going on with Will Wade down there and the NCAA, we'll see if that's a place that he even wants to go to, seeing if who knows what could happen with him. I'm supposed to be talking with him at some point today, phone interview with him. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll try to get some more insight as to what his process or what his recruiting process and timeline is. But you have to wonder. Obviously, the Pitt coaching staff has an idea of what they want to do as far as how many players they want to take, how many big guys and stuff like that. You just got to wonder if right now he has a committable offer, and by that I mean Cy is their number one kid they want to get. Is he going to take another person after that, considering they also have Kareem Koulibaly, who's also 6'9"? So maybe they want to see with Cy first what his plan is as far as committing, and then we'll see with Diallo. Maybe he takes both. I don't know. I would think Diallo is a little bit more of a project, although Defensively and offensively, he could probably come in and play. But actually, defensively, he can come in and play. Offensively, I think he's probably more of a project. But his defense and rebounding alone, if he were to come to Pitt next year, would definitely be a heck of a lot better than what they're getting this year, and that's something they need. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Just one other thing before I wrap it up here is just something I was kicking around with Alan Saunders yesterday, and that's I don't have any concrete evidence on this. It's just from following Pitt the last few years as far as recruiting on the football side, and seeing some of the kids. For the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to figure out and reaching recruits to find out who's going to be coming in over the next couple months. It just seems to me, and I'm trying to come up with might write a commentary on this a little bit later once I get some more concrete evidence on this. But it just seems to me that the Pitt football staff is taking a more aggressive approach to recruiting this year. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the early signing period and in December, and kids taking official visits during the summer as opposed to later on. But it just seems to me as though taking a look, and we published it as one of our diehard things a few days ago, some of the caliber of recruits that Pat Narduzzi is bringing in over the next couple months during the spring practice, it just seems to be on the higher end than it's been the last couple years. It just seems like the last couple years they would bring in some recruits maybe that didn't hold Pitt offers, and they were just bringing kids in, and the higher rated recruits were coming in the summer. It just seems as though they've stepped up the timeline. And a case in point of that is that at the Pitt game the other day, a couple of the recruits they brought in that held Pitt offers, Bryce Austin, big defensive lineman from Michigan, who I talked to, he has a Pitt offer. He has a really nice offer list. They were able to get a kid in to come from Michigan during the week, during a weekday game. So it just I'm just getting that sense, and a lot of these kids that I'm hearing are coming in. A couple other kids from Michigan are coming in next week. A lot of kids, higher-rated kids, are coming into Pitt. Seems to be visiting a lot early, and it looks as though Pitt is not one of the things that I've thought over the last handful of years are that they get a lot of commitments later on, and they can't get kids to commit right away. It just seems. We'll see if it happens, but it seems as though they're trying to speed the recruiting process up a little bit and not come from behind. And so we'll see. That's something we'll see when they get their first commitments in. But next week they start spring practice, and they're going to have a bunch of kids, and we're going to be writing about it. And if you missed the list that we had, it's on Pittsburgh Sports Now in the Die Hard section. And last thing I want to say before we wrap it up, we want to thank a new person we brought aboard here, and that's Walnut Grill up in Robinson. One thing we're trying to do, all of us here at the website, is we want to try to get a relationship with you, our readers and viewers and all that, more so than just on the computer. We want to know some of the guys we're talking with. In order to do that, we're going to, this month on March 22nd, we appreciate Walnut Grill for stepping up, and we're going to have a meet and greet, and it's going to be once a month at that restaurant. It's at Settlers Ridge up there. It's a very nice restaurant, great food. My family and I go up there. We've been up there a few times, and they have a nice bar section, and a lot of TVs, big bar, and we're going to get together, and it's very informal. We're going to go there, sit around. It's the first Friday is actually going to be the night of March Madness, so it's that first Friday. We're going to go up there. If you can make it up, even for a little bit, we'll buy you a drink, get around and shake hands, talk to you, talk Pitt, Duquesne, whatever you want to talk about. But and we're going to do that from here on in throughout the whole summer. So if you can't make the first one, we'll have another one in April, May, June, and so on. But we definitely appreciate the support we got from Walnut Grill to sponsor us for that, and we're going to have more events at their location, and we appreciate that, and we'll let you know more about that. But that's March 22nd is our first one, and we're excited about that. But Alan Saunders is in Indianapolis for the NFL Combines. He has got some good material on some local players, and also Quadri Olison, obviously. And stay tuned for us. Next week is a lot more Pitt information comes in, recruiting, both basketball and football. But for now, Mike Vukovcan here on Pittsburgh Sports Now.